Greetings, my excellent friends. My name is Gavaroc Fevenor. I'm a red mage by trade, but I have a few other hobbies as well. Sometimes I like to fill people full of arrows while singing lovely songs. Other times I like to go fishing while wearing an unnecessarily fancy suit. And sometimes, when the rage gets into me, I like to beat the absolute hell out of people while wielding a giant hammer. Also, I have a cat. A cat with wings. I assume you're jealous, unless you have one of your own. But enough about me. After all, this isn't my story. This is the story of another man. A man far more interesting than I could ever hope to be. And definitely a lot more strange. This is the story of Hildibrand Manderville. And the first time that I had the, we'll go with honor, of meeting him. Let's take a journey into my past. Into Hildibrand, Agent of Enquiry. Feared lost forever when the calamity struck, a true Eorzean hero and legend has returned to the realm. Join Hildibrand Manderville, Agent of Enquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, and his talented and charming assistant Nashu Makaraka, as they scour all creation to solve the most perplexing cases to plague the people of Eorzea. Commence. It all began in the city of Uldar, home to brown walls and tiny capitalists, and a chance encounter with an old friend. The rise and fall of gentlemen. An old acquaintance of Wymond is at wit's end, and the businessman would have you help her. I hear you've been busy as a bee, Gavaroc. Seems half the whispers what come my way relate to your comings and goings. Being the active type you are, I reckon you'd be interested in investigating some queer rumours, am I right? But before that, let me ask, ever heard of a man named Hildibrand? At the time I hadn't, so I was honest. No? To hear him tell it, he was Eorzea's greatest and most famous inspector. Still, can't say I'm surprised you don't know him. To his credit, Hildibrand and his assistant had a knack for showing up when something shady was afoot. As for sussing out the culprits, well, he had his moments, though I hesitate to give him sole credit. Any road, 5 years ago he gets it in his head that he's cracked the code of Messiah's 7th verse. Dalamud, the calamity, all of it can be stopped, he says, so long as he finds the hero of prophecy. And wouldn't you know it, the hero was Hildibrand himself. So, he flies off towards Dalamud. No, that's right. He flew, launches himself straight into the air somehow. Ridiculous as it sounds. Of course, it's only logical that he's got to come back down, though it was only recently that we found his body. I had reason for bringing this up. Ah, right. So, Nashu, Hildibrand's erstwhile assistant, has since become an inspector in her own right. At present, she's investigating the queer rumours I mentioned earlier. She's a sweet lass. Bit daft, but sweet nonetheless. So when I hear she's at wit's end, I want to help. Thing is, I prefer to meddle in the affairs of the living. Zombies are most definitely not my forte. So if you're willing, I'd be grateful if you lent her a hand. As for where to find her, she's like to visit Hildibrand's grave in the Lich Yard when she's frustrated. Try looking for her there first. At the time, I was a bit less than thrilled about this. Right. Good to see you too, Wymond. Nice to catch up. Been a while. I've been out of the city, saving Eorzea, doing hero stuff. But hey, don't ask about me. Just foist your zombie problems off of me. Right, great. Perfect, thanks. Good friend. Damn you. Alright, fine. It's only zombies, after all. What could go wrong? I have fought gods. I really shouldn't be scared. But what if the gods turn into zombies? And then they're zombie gods? Well, lots of thoughts went through my head as I flew my magic chair over to the graveyard at Camp Drybone. And there I found her. Oh, if only you were still alive, Inspector. You'd know how to stop these zombies. Ah! You there! Could it be? You've come to offer your services to me? Yes. Yes. Oh, but where are my manners? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nashu, Agent of Inquiries, Extraordinary Inspector. At least, that's what I'm trying to be. It's not quite as easy as he made it look. Inspector Hildibrand was a great man, a real Eorzean hero. We travelled the world, me and him, solving cases and thwarting evil. No matter the mystery, you could always count on the Inspector to solve it with grace and style. But then there was the final case. The case of the century, he called it. How to stop the Red Moon from destroying the world. To save us all, he flew into the sky. And all I could do was watch. But then he came back down and he... Kersplat? Oh, ow, Jesus. Oh, I hate this. Not exactly one of the perks of being a hero. Sure, the flashbacks are fun, but... God, the headaches. This is all a joke. A big, funny joke. Right, Inspector? Any moment now, you'll burst out of the ground and shout, "Surprise! Had you fooled, eh?" And we'll laugh. And laugh. Hildibrand Manderville, beloved son. They say no one remembers the warriors of light. Their names, their faces, all gone forever. But I remember you, Inspector. No, gentleman, hero, Hildibrand. I can never be the hero you were, but I'll do my best to try. I, Nashu, Inspector Extraordinaire, will carry on your legacy. I'm okay. You didn't even notice, did you? So I told myself, well, Nashu, there must be a leader, a head zombie who tells the rest what to do. Therefore, all we need to do is kill him. Again, that is. Unfortunately, I don't know where he is or how to find him. But now that you're here, my faithful assistant, you can try the one good idea I've come up with so far. If you go to where these dapper zombies were last seen in southern Thanalan, you might find them. And then you could, you could become their friend and ask to meet their leader. Yes, that's sure to work. Right. I will walk up to the zombies I will say hello, I will offer to be their friend, and I will see what they do. This is a mistake. I've never tried making friends with a zombie, but I don't see why it should be hard. Just moan, groan, and pretend to be dead. Excellent. Perfect. Wonderful. I feel so very safe. Really should have put that will in before I left Uldar. I have a problem, you see, in this adventuring, heroing business. It's quite a simple problem. It's like I imagine this list off to the side of my field of view. Whenever somebody asks me to do something, it adds a little marker to that list. And it doesn't go away until I do what it is they've said. Which is especially inconvenient when what they've asked me to do hasn't yet appeared. So at this point in our journey through the past, the Warrior of Light waited, staring out at the desert, and doing nothing, until the gods, whether that be the 12, your preferred primal, or just the concept of fate itself, decided that it was time to continue. And then, suddenly, after a wait which was probably about 2 minutes, but felt like 2 decades, zombies appeared all around me, making strange poses and leaving me alone because I hadn't hit the level sync button yet, but let's not worry about the details. Finally, we began to murder that which was already dead. It was a rather one-sided affair. Turns out my years of experience heroing had rendered me far better at this than the dapper zombies themselves. Only problem being, we needed to kill an awfully large amount of them in order to get anywhere. I imagined in my mind's eye a little progress bar around the same point as the little log of all of my tasks, quests you could call them, that kept me going and forced me to do the bidding of every random stranger in Eorzea. Perhaps I need therapy. But anyhow, and that little progress bar, with each re-killed zombie, began to slowly fill. White on the left, blue on the right. And I got this distinct impression that once it was white all the way, something would happen. Something important, something progress-related. A gentleman is rather than does. Most zombies, in my experience, tend to opt for something a little closer to brains. So it was quite refreshing to see a change up to the old standards. If curious. What compelled these zombies to talk in such a fashion? What compelled them to talk at all? Zombies aren't exactly wordy chaps. Well, halfway through killing this zombie horde, a misguided Amalja decided that my fleshy skin would be a nice receptacle for his halberd lance pokey stick thing. He was wrong, and he got a long time to contemplate his wrongness in hell. Other than that one intruder, it was mostly just a zombie murder spree, though there was a concerning looking turtle right in the middle of everything. kept out of the fray, though. I don't know, I just didn't trust him. Something about the look in his eyes. Said he'd eat me, if only he could. Eventually, however, the zombies were dead. And we found ourselves with a curious parchment. No sign of the zombie leader, however. We returned to Nashu to show her this curious parchment. Perhaps she would know what's on it. One might think we could look at what's on it by reading it. But that would require a level of logic that I was not yet prepared to utilize. I was still early in my adventuring career, after all. Such high-level concepts as reading notes still a bit beyond me.
Did you find the zombies? You did! Oh, that's wonderful! I've been busy too. The head zombie will rue the day he meets me, you'll see. So tell me, what did you learn?
Writ upon this map of the Sagoli Desert in a flamboyant flowing hand are the words, "A gentleman is, rather than does."
Oh, so you weren't able to make new friends. That's a shame. But this parchment, this is a map of the Sagoli Desert. There's a spot marked here in the south, and look, there's something written here. A gentleman is, rather than does. That sort of reminds me of... well, no matter. Let's see where this map takes us, assistant. Onward, to the Sagoli!
She was a lot more excited about this than I was, really. But I went along. After all, I owed Wymond absolutely nothing, but did his bidding anyway. As I climbed atop my flying polar bear, I wondered if it was perhaps cruel to bring an animal of the snows to a hot, miserable, sandy desert. I thought about this for a little while, but the bear didn't seem to mind. So in the end I decided, so long as Eorzean Peter didn't hear about it, I'd probably be fine.
I don't think I misread the map. Maybe they're just shy, though. I say we call out to them and let them know we come in peace. And when the leader shows himself, we strike!
Okay. I go whither the wild rose blooms!
That didn't seem to work. Maybe you should try shouting something else?
Fine. Well, we do have an interesting phrase on the piece of paper, so... A gentleman is, rather than does. Oh dear. Who summons the gentle dead man? That would be her. She did that. I have nothing to do with this, and I'm just passing by. They live. They live. And we hunger. Right. I don't know that they really have any food joints around here. You might want to try the Forgotten Springs with cat people. They probably, like, they have a lot of hunters. Perhaps they can give you meals. Yes. It's just up north. My brothers, lend me your ears. A gentleman does not dine upon his guests. That looks precarious. Spare this fine gentleman and fair lady your mastications. Withdraw, I say, and harass them no more!
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird! No, it's an airship! No! It's the Inspector!
That's the... what?
We hear, and we obey.
Ah. Good. That seemed painful. Hello, sir. You look unwell.
It is you! It really is you! I knew nothing could kill the great Inspector Hildibrand!
Hildibrand? Who is this Hildibrand of whom you speak? My name is Zombie Brand, devourer of brains, undead overlord extraordinaire.
What are you saying? You're not an undead overlord, you're a gentleman inspector!
Inspector? Overlord. Inspector. Overlord.
Oh, Inspector, you're just confused is all. Don't worry, I'll knock some sense back into that noggin of yours.
What are those?
Stay your hand, milady. You know not what you do.
Oh. Even if I were the esteemed gentleman you purport me to be, the concussive force of the blast is more like to liquefy my...
If crashing into the ground made you forget, then an explosion of regal force ought to make you remember. I'll save you, Inspector, or kill you trying.
See? Even you acknowledge the possibility that this plan will result in my... Oh dear, I'm too late. Death.
Normally, I would applaud your ingenuity, Nashu, but I would have preferred that you found a more elegant solution.
Ah! He remembers me! Inspector Hildibrand remembers me!
Yes, I remember you, my faithful assistant. What I do not quite remember is how I came to be here.
Oh, God, why do you people always give me headaches?
Right, yep, graveyard, good. Sad. Looking back wistfully. Walking away. Yep, that was a very necessary flashback. Thank you, Heidelin. I so appreciate your gift. The thunder does not make the headache ease. Ah, right. Yes. Zombie. Suppose I should be shocked by this, but seems rather inevitable.
Ah, such a wonderful dream. I slew a dragon, and... Huh? What is this place? And for that matter, who am I?
If it weren't for the throbbing migraine, that all would have been quite heartwarming. Although I'm very glad that Echo Vision does not bring with it the sense of smell.
I, Hildibrand, Agent of Enquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, have awoken at last.
I always knew you'd come back to us.
Be it Red Moon or Black Dragon, no fiend is a match for my legendary might. And who might this fine gentleman be? Could he perhaps be one of my many admirers? Oh, but what is this faint, tingling sensation in my arm? This ringing in my ears, this dizziness? Could it be a case?
Suffice to say, I was in for a ride here. A long and very baffling ride.